Alrighty, welcome to another episode of the Taryn Reeves Show. Today I've got my friend Mary Adenegbi, a LinkedIn business coach on a mission to help audacious business owners amplify their message and book qualified leads organically through LinkedIn. Over the past 5 years, Mary has worked with industry experts to help them build authority, expand their impact, and attract high-value clients, all by showing up strategically on LinkedIn. Now, Mary runs a thriving online coaching business from her home in Nigeria, attracting an audience and clients from around the world. Her bold message is that more business owners need to take up space on LinkedIn, share their stories, and grow their businesses audaciously. Mary, welcome to the Taryn Reeves Show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's so awesome to be here.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now, let's kick off where any good thing starts, and that's with a story. You have spoken out about showing up audaciously on LinkedIn and how that kind of transformed your life.
Yeah.
What did that journey look like for you?
Yeah, I love that question. My journey on LinkedIn with the whole LinkedIn thing that I'm doing right now, it's actually all started in 2018 when I got laid off from my corporate job. And when that happened, it made me grind to a halt, and it was this bold realization that I could never be truly safe in a 9 to 5 job. And to understand me, I might need to take you a bit further. So growing up, I didn't grow up with lots of privileges or lots of money. So I always knew that I would have to work real hard for things. And I did do that. I worked hard. I was always the best student when I was in high school. I worked hard. I did all of the things I needed to do. And I just kept on that journey. And besides that, then I already started exploring or just thinking about the idea of owning my own business, being my own business owner. I already was already, it was already sort of like a wishful thinking. It was not something I was ever going to do, but it was always there. But I kept on the corporate path, the 9 to 5 ladder, because that's what I always knew. So when I finished up from school, I started working, and I kept going from one job to the other, and climbing up the ladder. I was a digital marketer and a social media manager. And until 2018, when I got laid off from my job, and I realized, because it was not something that was planned, I was not expecting it. It's actually triggered that sense of insecurity. I no longer felt safe being in a 9 to 5 job. And since I already had that idea of building my own business someday, it was always there, but I kept on looking for another job, right? I went on LinkedIn, I was searching for jobs like we do on LinkedIn. But when I went there, I met something else, something better. I started seeing people who were sharing their stories, right? People who had left their 9 to 5 job, people who were using LinkedIn to build their personal brand and build their businesses. And it was intriguing. Like, they were reflecting to me the life I had always, dreamed of. And it felt interesting. Like, I wanted to try it. And I made that audacious move and started sharing content on LinkedIn. I was already a digital marketer. So I was just sharing my expertise, sharing 5 tips for this, 5 hacks for that. And the more I did it, the more interest I grew in my personal brand. People were reaching out to me, asking me about LinkedIn, asking me about how to share their content. And somehow, I discovered that I realized that I could actually become a coach, because I was seeing other people coaching, doing the thing. I realized that, okay, with this expertise I have, there are so many different ways I could go, but I decided that I wanted to be a coach because I love to work with people one on one to really help them get deep transformation. And I believe that coaching does that more than anything else. So I decided to become a coach, and I was doing that. And while I was sharing my content on LinkedIn and building all of this expertise, building all of this authority on the platform, I did also get a job as a LinkedIn specialist in a top IT firm, which I worked there for a couple of years until I left in 2022 because the corporate culture there was extremely toxic. I left in 2022 and decided to go all in with my coaching business. It was a scary decision, but it was one I knew I had to make. So I went into my coaching business, and I've been doing that since 2022 full time. And I won't trade what I have now for what I have then. Of course, being a business has its ups and downs. Whose idea was it for us to build a business, do something all on our own, right? But then again, it's something beautiful that I will not trade for what I had in a corporate job. So, in summary, LinkedIn gave me my dream life, taking action on the platform, going bold, doing the scary things. I'm an introvert. So, putting out content is not easy for me. I was telling my friend the other day that I'm an introvert, and she was like, it doesn't show. I'm like, I'm an introvert. Before I have calls, I find myself, I get nervous before any call, but I still do what I have to do, make that bold move, that audacious decision, and I show up. And doing that on LinkedIn over time helps me build my brand, helps me build authority, helps me have conversations with people I never thought I would have conversations with. Now I'm on podcast. I'm on a podcast with an amazing person like you. If I never actually took that bold step, I never would be here. So LinkedIn helps me do that. It helps me build my brand. It helps me build my business. And I really enjoy the life that I have been able to build so far.
Amazing, amazing. Now, let's talk about what LinkedIn used to be and what it's commonly mistaken still to be. So, a lot of people think that LinkedIn is only for people looking for jobs and for corporate suits, corporate businesses. And you and I both know that that's not true. But what are these people getting wrong?
They're getting so many things wrong. I believe maybe I think lots of people who have that kind of mindset, they are usually on Facebook or they are on Instagram or on TikTok, and they have no idea about the power of LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn is a wonderful place. LinkedIn is a place where you can actually have deep conversations with people. Like I was speaking to a client the other day and I was telling her that, but she uses Instagram and Facebook a lot, and she's like she wants to like just focus entirely on LinkedIn now. And I think that's a really good decision because on LinkedIn you can actually have like quality conversations with like top decision makers, people who are discerning in the industry, So that's the thing that they are missing. LinkedIn actually hands you the mic and puts you in the right rooms. I always say that LinkedIn hands you the mic and puts you in the right room. So why are you on crowded platforms, seeking and dancing for attention? You can be on LinkedIn, you can share your authority, share your quality content, and people will actually get it. People will actually pause to read it, to engage with it. So there are people who actually think LinkedIn, I don't know. I find myself wondering, do people still think that? But then again, I came across a post the other day where somebody was saying that she went to update a particular job description finally on her LinkedIn. I'm like, people still think LinkedIn is a place just for your resume. Like it's I don't maybe because I use the platform a lot and I see and I help people use it, I see people use it. I find myself not really being able to really comprehend why people won't see that LinkedIn is way beyond just a place where you put your resume. It's a place where you can build your brand, attract opportunities from all over the world. Like you know what I'm trying to say. Like I don't get how people still don't see it. But then again, I guess there are people like that. If you're that kind of person, LinkedIn has transcended past just a place for resume. Just sharing content 3 times a week alone can do so much for your brand. And even if you are putting out content, even if you are on LinkedIn to find a job, sharing content is still a necessity because it shows employers that you know your stuff. At
Mm,
least even if you want to be there as a resume sharer, at the worst case scenario is people will come to your content pieces, come to your LinkedIn profile and see that, oh, this actually knows their stuff. But if you can actually articulate your expertise, it tells a lot about you.
yeah, definitely. Now, you teach a three-part strategy or a formula, as you call it, to use LinkedIn to organically attract buyers, sophisticated buyers
Yeah,
to your business or your brand. Can you walk us through what that looks like?
yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess you're talking about my MSC framework and
Yeah.
it's messaging, sales funnel, content in that order. Like start off the anything you want to do on LinkedIn as a business owner, someone being a personal brand, you want to make sure you are starting off with clear messaging. You need to take the time to really sit back and understand yourself, understand your stories, understand your, the emotional parts of your brand, your expertise, understand your business or understand yourself, and then understand your ideal client, understand your ideal audience, your ideal clients. So the first thing you want to do is work on your messaging, and then the next thing you want to do on LinkedIn is work on your sales funnel. You need to understand how your audience buys. You need to understand how well they even know what you are selling. So depending on
Mm.
what you are selling on LinkedIn, if you and I think it's cut across different platforms as well, but specifically on LinkedIn, you can't go on the platform, for instance, it's the first time you are getting there, or maybe you don't really have an audience on a platform and you are trying to lead people into a 5K program. It most likely will not do well. You need to take people through a funnel. Now, there are funnels you have to put in the front end. People are seeing it clearly on the LinkedIn platform. You're sharing content about it is on your profile, and then there are things that will be at the back end that people are going through without people actually, your audience on LinkedIn aren't really seeing it. But once they take that first step, they are led into that funnel behind the scenes, because people are at different stages of their buying journey. People know you at people know you at different stages. So the person
Mm.
is like someone like you, for instance, you and me, we've known each other for quite some time. Depending on, there are some things I would sell to you that you would buy. There are some things I would sell to you that you won't buy. So there are different levels of awareness. You need to understand that about your audience. You need to understand who are people even in your audience, and you need to be filling up your audience first of all with people. And that's the beauty of LinkedIn. Also, you can actually directly connect with people, and you obviously can connect with people and have conversations with them. And you need to know what exactly you are selling to people at different stages of the buyer journey. And then lastly, you want to make sure you are putting out content on your LinkedIn. Like, it's a non-negotiable. Every week you need to make sure you are putting out content. You need to communicate your personality. You need to communicate your expertise. People won't I wish people would know how amazing you are without you having to tell them, but they won't.
Mm.
You actually have to tell them, and tell them over and over and over and over and over and again. And sometimes it can be tiring, it can be frustrating, but it's just the way it is right now. Like, you will have to tell people, over and over and over and over and over again, because as lots of coaches are putting it right now, we are in a trust recession. People are taking
Mm.
their time to make buying decisions. They're not just swiping their cards and buying whatever comes in front of them. So you need to put yourself out there over and over and over and over and over consistently. So that's the MSC framework, your messaging, your sales funnel process, and then your content. So you go through these three stages, and you go through them consistently, you definitely be able to efficiently use the platform to your benefit, especially if you are a business owner, not just a content creator. You're a business owner, you own a business, you are using LinkedIn as a tool for your business.
Mm. Beautiful. Let's talk content then, because not all content is created equal. What kind of content actually does
Yeah.
convert on LinkedIn or does warm up leads on LinkedIn, and what should we stop doing?
Okay. So I teach my clients five different types of content. But
Okay.
if you can actually master just these three, you are good to start. So
Mm.
authority content pieces is very important. Secondly, you need to make sure you need to put out social proof content, and then
Mm-hmm.
lastly, you need to put out storytelling content pieces. Now, for the authority content pieces, you don't just want to give people 5 steps of doing something, 5 hacks of doing something, 5 tips of doing something. Particularly on LinkedIn, right? You want to show your perspective. You want to show your perspective, like that polarizing thoughts that you
Mm.
think you should keep within you, that polarizing thoughts you think will shake the internet, that nobody will agree with. Maybe that's what people need to actually hear. That's thing boiling deep within you that you feel everybody needs to know. That's the way I was talking about. That's when you saw the way I was so passionate, when I was like, I don't get how somebody would be like, LinkedIn is just for resumes. That passionate
Mm.
thing that you really want people to hear, that's what you should be putting out there. So your authority piece goes beyond just teaching people, teaching them this, teaching them that. They could go on ChatGPT to go and ask 5 tips for whatever, and ChatGPT will, regurgitate a ton of tips So,
Yeah.
but the thing that sets you apart is your perspective, your unique perspective, your unique experiences. No two people have the same experiences. Like if you put two people, twins or triplets, go through like let's say one high school, they would come out at the end of it and give you three different stories. So not two people, we are all unique. We have our unique experiences, our unique stories, and you want to make sure that is reflected in your content because that's what sets you apart. That's what attracts, your own person. So that's the kind of content that you should actually put there. Content unique to you, content that showcases your expertise, content that showcases your unique perspective, content that showcases your unique experiences. Like how did you do something? People want to see how you did something. They can't see that on ChatGPT. If I'm teaching on LinkedIn about how I attracted 5 coaching clients into my business in a month using LinkedIn. That's not something ChatGPT can ever give anybody. If you go to ChatGPT and ask, I want to attract 5 coaching clients, it will tell you all of the things you need to do, but it won't tell you the things I did to actually attract those
Mhm.
clients in a month. So that's the thing that sets you apart on LinkedIn. So that kind
Mm.
of content is really good. And then the kind of what you should not be doing is putting out content that is not backed by all of this. I mean, you already talked about what you should do. The opposite is what you should not do. Just putting out content like you're throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something will stick. You should be strategic with your content, strategic with your presence on LinkedIn so you can get the best results.
Mm. Now, let's talk about the best results then on LinkedIn. Talk to me about hashtags, Mary, because hashtags originally started on Instagram, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm no social media expert, but for me, it's always been an Instagram thing. And then they kind of moved over to LinkedIn. Is Are hashtags supposed to be used on LinkedIn? If so, how strategically do you use them? How many do you use? Where do you find the right ones? Talk to me about that.
Okay. Hashtags can be used on LinkedIn. You can use hashtags on LinkedIn, but the algorithm doesn't really, separate hashtags content. It doesn't give favoritism if you use hashtags. You can use hashtags to drive home your points. You can use
Mm-hmm.
hashtags to drive home your points. You can use hashtags to build your personal brand. Like I have some hashtags I use for lots of my content. I have do it afraid. I have
Mm-hmm.
take up space. Those are like my taglines you see in
Mm-hmm.
most of my content pieces. So it helps you. You can use it to like set yourself apart from the crowd. So you can use that. That's what one way you can use hashtags. But generally, the algorithm does not really like show favoritism for hashtags. And if I thought you're going to be using hashtags, please don't use 15, 10, 7, 8 hashtags.
Yeah.
Keep it under 5. Between
Yeah.
1 and 5. It's enough hashtags to use in one single post.
Well, thank you for clearing that up because it's been a bugbear for me for a while. I've been like, am I supposed to use hashtags? Am I not supposed to use hashtags? Are they
Yeah.
searchable? But what I'm hearing is that they're not actually searchable. It's just kind of like a branding thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you can use it as a
Interesting.
brand you can use it as a brand thing, exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, let's talk about where you are. You are in Nigeria. I am from Zimbabwe originally. So, both African
Oh.
ladies. You've built a global business from your home in Nigeria. Tell us what a day looks like
Yeah.
in your life now compared to when you worked for corporate.
I'm not one for routines. Like I'm terrible at routines. I'm not one for routines, but these days, what a day in my life has been looking like is I wake up in the morning quite early, I freshen up, then I go to the gym. I spend about
Mhm.
an hour, 30 minutes at the gym. I get back, freshen up, and I have breakfast. And after having breakfast, I get down to work and then walk and take rest in between. And then after that, I have dinner and put myself to sleep and repeat the cycle the next day. But when I was in the night in the corporate, when I was in the corporate space, I would wake up in the morning very early, freshen up, and commute down to work. And then when I get to work, I would get down. When I get to work, I usually start work. I don't take breakfast. I work till lunch hour, and then I eat lunch, and then I work and work and work till we are done with work, and I commute back home, and repeat the cycle again the next day. So that's it's quite simple and straightforward, right? So that's how my day in the life looks like when I was in the 9 to 5, and now that I'm doing my own thing.
Mm, beautiful. Now, you spoke about being an introvert before, and you seem very
Yeah.
confident. And I'm assuming that building your brand online has had a lot to do with that. So, how has that online brand building, your entrepreneurial journey, impacted your confidence both personally and professionally?
I love this question. Like it's so personal, like it's so deep for me, because yeah, I am an introvert, and I actually had to do a lot of work on myself. Like when I was working in my 9 to 5, right, I was just going through the motions, doing the things I
Mm.
was supposed to do, and at the end of the month I received my salary. And but since building my own business, I had to start working on myself. Like I started discovering, and I think that's one thing about building a business. Like if for nothing else, building a business will it will age you. It will
Oh,
make
yes.
you grow. It will make you grow so
Yeah.
fast. It will make you grow so fast. It will help you discard lots of unnecessary things and only hold on to the things that are important. Like it forced me to do like a lot of deep dive into
Mm,
like my past, the reasons why I was holding back, traumas I was dealing with. Like beauty, goodness, it's a journey, and I so love it. It's one of the things I love the most about building my business, because I
mm,
had to sit back and really dive deep into why am I acting this way? Why this? Because I was going on sales calls, right? I would go on sales calls and I'll be fumbling, I'll be finding my words, I'll be people pleasing, I'll basically be begging for the sale, and it will not come. And I had to actually sit back and really ask myself deep questions. I still do that till now. Like even with working with clients, like you have to do that deep work and find out, oh, okay, I know I'm an introvert, right? But and because you keep listening to other people, you keep listening to other podcasts, you see other people who may not really know as much as you do, and they are so vocal and they're so confident, and they're saying what they are saying, and the journey just helps you, just makes you decide to actually work on yourself. And you have to, because you have to eat, right? So you have to
yes.
do that deep work. You have to actually sit back and really reflect on your trauma, do a lot of healing, do a lot of soul searching, do a lot of deep conversations with yourself, fall in love with yourself, like
Mhm.
finally hear yourself think and love your own voice. Look yourself in the
Mm,
mirror and fall in love with yourself. You have to do that deep work, because if you don't accept yourself, if you don't own yourself, own your message, own you can't put it out there. Nobody will love you if you don't love yourself. Nobody will take whatever you are saying if you don't accept your own self. So you have to do that deep work. So I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but it's just
yeah.
so passionate, and the words are just coming. And I just know that building my business, I did the different things. I've not really like ordered it. I did this first, I did this second, I did this third. The things just kept coming, and I kept rolling with the punches, learning how to master it. And as time went on, I built my confidence. In the first podcast I did, I don't even remember what I said anymore. I was just all over the place. I was trying to do this, trying to please, and all of those things. And now I'm coming on a podcast and I'm just having a conversation. And,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's it's a whole different, it's all different from where I was before and where I am now. And I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah, it's an amazing journey, and there are many punches along the way, that is for sure. Now, what's one myth
Exactly.
about
Exactly.
LinkedIn that you wish people would stop believing?
Hmm. One myth I wish people will stop believing is, yeah, one, thinking that if they keep putting out content, then all of the clients will come. Like a client of mine was telling me about a friend, not really a friend, an acquaintance she met through a common group, who was telling her that she was on LinkedIn for a year and she was sharing content almost every day and she did not get one single client. And I'm like, okay, exactly. I expected that result because you can't be on LinkedIn and just sharing content alone and think that that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
It goes way deeper than that, and that's one thing I've seen lots of people actually believe. I've seen lots of people believing in, like, oh, just show up, just show up, just show up. Obviously, the first thing you need to do is show up, get the ball rolling, just like when you are exercising, right? The first thing is to warm up. That's just you getting started, but you still have to do the deep work that actually
Yeah.
creates the transformation. So that's what the myth I wish people would stop believing. Like, just show up and share content and you'll be fine. It goes beyond that. You need a strategy behind this. You need to work on your messaging. You need to have a sales funnel process, because you need to inspire people to take action and tell them
Mm,
specifically what action you need them to take. So that's
mm,
what I wish more people would actually get to understand, that it goes beyond just putting out content on LinkedIn. If you want to do it, obviously start it. I like the idea of get started, but then
mhm.
when you get started, you know, add that strategy. It's extremely necessary.
Yep. Yep. I couldn't agree more. And let's talk about being a woman in business very briefly. What's one message that you want more business owners, especially women, to hear when it comes to showing up online?
Chase the failure.
Mm,
Chase the failure. Like, this one is very deep, very personal for me, because I hate failing. Like, I talked about how I was like the best student all through high school. I was the best student in all subjects, in all classes. So I was not used to failing. So one of
mhm.
the reasons why I actually held back from going into my business was actually that reason. I hate failing. I fear failing. But now I've come to realize that it's important to chase the failure. I wish I knew this much sooner. But then again, maybe I wouldn't have taken action anyway. But because, because it is essential to chase the failure. It might sound off, but it's important for you to get used to failing. Because one of the reasons why we hold back is because we are scared of failing. But you need to fail so you can work those muscles, and so you can actually become strong enough to win.
Yep.
So that's
It's
what I would say. Like,
how we
I would
learn.
say, yeah, it's how you live. It's the only way you learn. Lots of people stay on the sidelines for years. They don't take action because they are scared of failing. Like, you need to
Mm,
decide fast. Like, make decisions fast, take action fast, fail fast, heal fast, and get back to it. Get back to taking action. Like, it's necessary for
yeah.
you to be successful in business. And I think at anything, actually, for you to be successful. But by the time you keep winning, like, you're always winning, always winning, always winning, add some intensity. Add some intensity so you can train your muscle, so you
Yeah.
can train those failed muscles, win muscles. And I think that's, I mean, if you don't have that thing in front of you that you are scared of, I think life will not be fun. And that's one thing I
Mm,
realized some time ago. Like, we need to have this thing in front of us like, fear is actually a good thing. It keeps you
mm,
grounded. It keeps you going. It gives you something to live for. It gives you
mm.
something to wake up in the morning to, like, okay, I want to wake up this morning and actually tackle this thing. But if you're just,
Yeah.
you're always just going. That's why people who multi-millionaires who have lots of money, they chase adventure. They want to go see the
Mm.
Titanic. They want to go to Mars, add more intensity to their life because they've done it all and now they just want more intensity. So that's
Yeah.
what I think, chase the failure.
Yeah. I love that. Now, let's have some fun. I heard
Okay.
on the grapevine that you are into K drama. Is that right?
Ayla, so true.
What's your ultimate go-to K drama when you're winding down after a big day on LinkedIn?
I don't have a specific one. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not that person who has a favorite movie or favorite series. I have a couple. I Sometimes it depends on what's airing at the moment and I'm enjoying it. Sometimes it's something I've seen before that I might just feel that thing. Like I just feel it's like I want to go back to, but mostly if it's gonna be anything, it has to be romance. I love romance. I'm a sticker for
Yeah.
love. I love romance. So if it's going to be anything I thought most times I watch only romance K drama. So maybe not a specific one, but if I'm gonna go back to anything, it's going to be romance related. It just helps me
Right.
loosen up. It takes my mind off. It gives my heart fluttering. I'm giggling. I'm smiling. So I love romantic K dramas. I don't not a specific one, but if I'm going to go back to anything, because I've seen lots of K dramas, and I keep going back to some, and they are always the ones that are romance related.
I love that. I love that. Now, Mary, we have a tradition on this podcast called the book drop, and we want to know
Okay.
what book has impacted you either personally or professionally and why.
Mm. Professionally, the book that has impacted me a lot is The 12-Week Year
Mm-hmm.
by Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. The 12-Week Year, it's taught me the importance of breaking the year into 12 weeks. Like rather than waiting till the end of the year, like 3 months to the end of the year to start chasing all of your goals. Instead, treat your year, the whole year as 4 years. Yeah, like 12 weeks, 1 year, 12 weeks, 1 year, 12 weeks, 1 year. So 4 years. So in the same intensity you would use for the last 3 months of the year, use that intensity for the first 3 months, the second 3 months, the third 3 months, the last 3 months. So you will actually get more done like that compared
Mm,
to, thinking about it, and all of a sudden it's October, and you're like, wow, what do I do now? You start running hard, you start chasing, you start signing up for the gym, you start doing all of the things, and hoping some magic happens. So that book actually
mm.
helps me realize the importance of breaking my year and actually taking action at intense action at every point.
Beautiful. I actually haven't heard of that one before, so I'm going to add that
Yeah,
to my list. So thank you so
really.
much for
Uh,
sharing. Yeah, I
Also,
haven't, but I'm going
you're
to add it. Thank
welcome.
you so much for sharing your book
Yeah.
recommendation as well as all your LinkedIn expertise, because I have to admit that LinkedIn was never my favorite platform. I was very much an Instagram girl because I like the
Yeah.
visuals, and LinkedIn just felt a bit
Yeah.
stale like that. But I'm a fan now.
Yeah.
Like I have pivoted quite a lot on that platform and I have overcome that mistake of
Okay.
thinking that it was only for job seekers. So thank you for the work that you do and for
Yeah.
showing up and being your beautiful, audacious self.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
It's always a pleasure.